Now that Memorial Day's crossed off the calendar, we can finally settle into our summer mindsets, at least those of us who don't have classes left. But the sunny holiday is about far more than a 3-day weekend, so the Sports Desk takes to the pitch to recognize those who make it a day worth celebrating. Plus, CIF playoff news is heating up. The Knights take on some familiar faces on the other side of the net and the visiting stands. Meanwhile, it's now or never at North High for 4 athletes. They've paid their dues, they've won plenty of games through the years, but it's time to get past the hump in CIF softball playoffs. All that's coming up right here, right now on the Sports Desk. What's up, Torrance? Always good to see you. Welcome to a new week on the Sports Desk. I'm your host, Wan Hernandez. While many of us took all of last week to prepare for a 3-day weekend, the boys on Bishop Montgomery's volleyball court had the biggest games of their season to prepare for. After steamrolling through the early rounds of the Division IV playoffs, there was no escaping the scary but impressive truth that the Knights weren't the only Del Rey League team creating a postseason ruckus. The top 3 finishers in the league, Cathedral, Bishop, Montgomery, and LaSalle, marched their way to the semifinal round. 4 teams left, and 3 of them had already played each other at least twice in 2014. So, as luck would have it, the Knights got their last game on a familiar court against some familiar faces, with the chance to play for the CIF championship hanging in the balance.
Passionate fans and 2 league rivals never make for a bad combination, especially in the CIF semifinals. This was the 3rd meeting this season between the Knights and Lancers, but this wasn't the same LaSalle team Bishop had beaten earlier this year.
I felt like we weren't 100% sure with their offense a little bit with the new guy. We didn't get a chance to really scout them. We hadn't seen them with that guy. Luckily, we have played against him in the past because he's been on varsity for a while.
I felt like when we played them the first time, maybe they were a little bit on the downside, and when we played them over there, it's always tough when we play over there, and I felt like we didn't play to our best. I feel like the playoffs brings out the best in everybody, and I feel like that's what happened, and the best team came with the victory.
Lancer fans tried their best to get under the Knights' skin, but after losing the first set, they buckled down and showed off how tough they really are.
It's definitely a little bit extreme, like 2 different teams, like supporting crowds are just yelling constantly. I mean, that's pretty crazy. But it shows like you have mental focus.
It was amazing. Coming in, I was kind of worried. I know LaSalle always brings a great crowd, but I know the Bishop Montgomery community is amazing, and they never let us down.
The Knights rallied off 3 straight wins to close out the Lancers. Drew Beimel and Peter Sarmiento led the way with 25 combined kills. From Bishop Montgomery High School, this is Colin Kushner reporting for the Sports Desk.
Thank you for that story, Colin. So there it is. Take down one league foe, just one more left. Let's see how it checked out in the semifinals. After dropping that first set against LaSalle, the Knights tally off 3 straight wins to book their ticket to the CIF championship. Meanwhile, co-Del Rey League champs Cathedral took care of business on their side of the bracket, and the Knights and the Phantoms, they may have shared a league banner this year, but there'd be no sharing another championship this time around. The CIF final served as the rubber match between the 2 schools, having split their regular season series. Travis Purick led the Knights with 40 assists. Peter Sarmiento and Drew Beimel combined for 23 kills, but it wasn't enough to keep pace with Cathedral. The Knights bounced back to take the 3rd set with their backs against the wall, but the hole was far too deep to dig out of, and for the 2nd year in a row, Bishop Montgomery Volleyball is the CIF runner-up. So that wraps up the volleyball season here in the South Bay, but while the Bishop boys came up just short of their goal, it was an athlete on the North High campus whose personal goal led to a CIF championship. Triple jumper Jasmine Bass won the Saxons' first individual track and field championship since 2010. All season, her goal was to have a 40-foot jump. Her final jump of the CIF championship meet reached that mark and gave her enough to lock up the Division II crown. All right, so our first couple postseason stops are crossed off the list today. Next up, we'll have a visit from 4 seniors on the North Saxon softball squad.
Hi, I'm Michael Russo, bringing you this Voter Minute. With the election just a little ways away, are you ready to make an informed decision about who you want to vote into office?
There are a number of ways you can get educated on each of the candidates, their beliefs and goals. Voters are encouraged to read each candidate's statement provided in sample ballot booklets. View candidate forums offered throughout the next few months, as each candidate will be invited to speak to the community and answer your questions. You can even contact your candidates directly to learn more about what his or her political ideologies are and whether those positions are important to you.
Now, you've got a big decision come election day, and we want to get you as much information as possible so that you can make a well-informed decision. Make sure the one you vote for shares your common expectations. For more, just go to torrancevotes.org.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That changed my life.
At that moment, it hit me. This is why I joined the Guard. We're soldiers, always ready to protect our country. But we've also got communities. Family, friends, neighbors who count on us. I couldn't believe it. I just saved a life. Somebody from my hometown.
See what it means to be a citizen soldier at NationalGuard.com.
Hi, welcome back to the Sports Desk. CIF softball is next up on the docket today with 3 schools breaking into the Division III bracket. First up, 2 squads fought their way into the playoffs by winning wild card games. The Torrance Tartars battled it out in a 12-inning first-round affair against Highland. After nearly 2 games worth of ball, the Tartars came up short, ending their 2014 campaign. Meanwhile, West Torrance put their wild card win up against the Del Rio champs, Lucerna, and fall on the bottom end of a low-scoring game. So that leaves us with just 1 softball squad left in Torrance. The favorites all year long, the North Saxons, stacked with as much talent as anybody in the southern section, but as Valerie Ortega is about to show us, for a few members on this team, there's a little extra urgency to win in the playoffs this year.
North has 4 seniors on the team who are playing in their last CIF playoffs, which makes these games count a little more than usual.
From the past years, we still had in our minds that, oh, well, we have next year, and now that I'm a senior, this is the last year, so we really want to just go give it our all and do the best that we can.
It's really important because this is our last high school time, and for us seniors, it's the only time we can leave our legacy for North.
The last couple of years, I was just really young and not really knowing, but I feel like this year, all the seniors have matured overall, and we just got really close, and close to our other teammates as well.
These seniors are doing all they can in order to keep playing, but what continues to help the Saxons win is their bond off the field.
We all just bond really well together, and we just mesh really well. Like, we have team bondings and everything, and everyone gets along, so it's just great. This year, we really started bonding together. It's really nice to be able to bond with the younger girls and make them feel welcome onto our team, so I think that's done really well for us.
Ever since the beginning, we had this plan to come in and play our game throughout league and come and make it far in the playoffs. And so we're doing a lot of team bonding, so I really think that made us come close as a team.
Their bond continues to grow, as well as their confidence throughout the playoffs.
We just got to keep taking it inning by inning, pitch by pitch, and just put it all out on the field.
Last year, the Saxons lost in the first round of the playoffs, but this year, even with a young team, they refused to lose. From North, this is Valerie Ortega reporting for the Sports Desk.
Thank you, Valerie. So the Saxons get off to that hot postseason start. No surprise to watch them handle business against Rialto in their first round matchup, a 12-2 rout. The busy week continued with their second round win over Chaminade. In the first 2 rounds of the playoffs here, the Saxons outscored their competition 20-2, looking every bit as solid as the 4 seniors had hoped, but then Lucerna puts an end to their championship goals. In the first inning of this one, Lucerna pitcher Jamie Wren bunted her way on, took second on a wild pitch, and then was driven in on an RBI double. Again, all that in the first inning, and it was goose eggs the rest of the way. The Saxons unable to get runs across home plate all day long, so just the 4th run they give up on the entire postseason does them in for good. Lucerna takes down a second Torrance team out of the playoffs. Meanwhile, the boys on the diamond got their share of postseason action in. Again, 3 more teams took to the field. This time, West Torrance in the Division III bracket with South and Torrance, your Pioneer League champs, getting it in against Division IV. The Warriors rallied to grab the Bay League title this spring. They needed a little bit of luck to make that happen. but perhaps a little bit of bad luck came with it because that first seed got them a date with Diamond Bar, the same squad that knocked them out of the postseason a year ago. And in back-to-back years, West suffers a first-round loss in the playoffs. The Warriors fell 4-1 and made a strong push, fell down 4-1 and made a strong push in the 7th to rally back. Angel Mora's 2-run single made it 4-3. Trevor Mallett's ground rule double actually held up the tying run at third. If it stays in play, the Warriors likely tie the game, but no such luck in this one as they end their season with the bases loaded and the winning run in scoring position. Over in the Division 4 tourney, South and Torrance did their first round damage. At Torrance, Kyle Smith recorded his 10th win of the season with a complete game, allowing just 4 hits while striking out 8. The 5-0 win actually fell short of the Tartars' recent pace. The first round win their 12th win in a row, where they've averaged 8 runs a game. The Spartans did their job with pitching and defense as well, allowing just 1 run against El Rancho. Matt McGolan, the guy on the bump for them, with a complete game of his own, setting up a second-round home game early this week, while the Tartars will take to the road for round 2. All right, so you've got your CIF postseason news. When we come back, we've got a moment to celebrate the Memorial Day holiday the way it's supposed to be celebrated.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams.
Michael Adams.
Students who miss 18 days of school in any grade risk falling behind and not graduating. Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
Hi, welcome back to the Sports Desk. Torrance is a city that loves its troops. For 55 straight years, it's honored those that serve by hosting an armed forces celebration capped off with a parade. And all this before the entire country sets aside a day to remember those that didn't make it home. It all goes to show there are some people we can never thank enough. So last week, we set out to get a fresh take on it all from the sidelines. What's up, everybody? Juan here, hanging out at the StubHub Center, where tonight we salute the troops with the LA Galaxy. We figure we're on the heels of Memorial Day, and what better way to remember those who have served our country than to spend a nice evening on the pitch.
It was important for us to recognize all that our armed forces do for us, that we can actually have a game out here tonight and have people come and cheer for us, cheer against us, is something that we're passionate about as a club and something that our players have really rallied behind. But for us as a club, it's really just of gratitude and thanks and appreciation.
So they told me it was going to be a good time tonight at StubHub Center, but I had no idea there would literally be people falling out of the sky. Sure enough, I look up, and none other than former Navy SEAL Nick White coming down.
Yeah, you know what? That's we've jumped a lot for the Galaxy over the years, but you know, to have them reach out and take a night out of their year and appreciate the men and women doing the good things, it's awesome.
So does it mean something special for you to be able to jump tonight?
It does. It does. We do a lot of jumping across country. Even though we've done our time, we can show face and represent the U.S. military. Our brothers are still downrange and doing those things that we did for years. But anytime we come out and represent, it's great.
Perfect. Last question I got to ask you here. Next time you guys jump, you taking me with you?
Okay.
Well, we're having a good time so far. It's halftime. We've met the president of the club, a couple servicemen, and well, I think now it's time to grab a couple of the players and see what messages they have for our troops.
I mean, I'm from Hawthorne and just playing in Carson. This is my home city, you know. It's definitely a blessing what the troops do for us, you know. They represent our country, and they're basically saving my life and allowing me to be able to play soccer by the work they're doing. And I'm just thankful I got an opportunity to play well and play on the pitch and score a goal and even get an assist while they were watching.
Did it make scoring the winning goal that much more important today?
Oh, of course, you know. It made it real important. My dad was in the Navy, and it just leaves me speechless, you know. I'm really glad they came.
Was your dad here today?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
He was. Today he had work off. Usually he's working hard, you know, but he had today off.
Adrian, just talk about what it means for you guys to set aside tonight where you can just acknowledge the troops, bring them out here and show them a good time. What that mean to you?
It means a lot, you know, everything they do for us. Bruce gave a quote last week that when they lose focus and concentration, they lose lives, and when we lose focus and concentration, we lose a game. So they put their lives on the line for us every single day. So we should acknowledge them every single day.
It's funny how you guys appreciate us so much, but we appreciate you all the same, and we just want to say thanks from the bottom of our hearts, and we appreciate everything that you do and have done.
Always a good time hanging out with the LA Galaxy, and hey, the holiday may be behind us now, but like AJ De La Garza said, we should probably do this every day. Now, in the spirit of good vibes and good karma, that brings us to our weekly update on Surfing for a Cure, coming right here to Torrance Beach on June 22nd. Big thank you to those that have been keeping tabs online and even gone out and contributed to our donations. There's still plenty of time to be a part of our big day with professional surfer Nathaniel Curran's Young and the Brave Foundation. Remember, everything we can pull together and raise will be donated to the Children's Hospital of LA for pediatric cancer research. Can't wait to see you all out there in the water with us. In the meantime, you can also check in with the Sports Desk anytime on Facebook, or you can simply send us an email to sportsdesk@torranceca.gov. Let us know what you've got going on this summer so we can come out and share your story with the rest of Torrance. All right, everybody, that's going to wrap up another week here on the Sports Desk. We will see you next time.